Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancia Leath, and I'm excited about this raw story. We're in season 2, and this is episode 4. Yes! This raw story is going to encourage you to continue to thrive. This raw story is going to encourage you to look at your goals based on your health, your body health, as well as your dreams. These two wonderful people are two guests we have today. It's going to encourage you to thrive in ways you have never thought of, especially Candice as well as Adam. Our first guest tonight is Candice. Let's bring Candice on. Hi, Candice. How are you, Candice?
Wow, how are you?
I'm well. I'm so excited that you decided to come to Raw Stories. Please tell me a little about yourself.
All right, so I'm Candice Hamilton, and I'm a mom, 2 boys. They're in high school now, so it's a little bit different. Married for almost 18 years,
Mm-hmm.
and in my bio, I said I struggled with weight. I think it was more self-image more than weight.
Oh.
Early
Mm.
on, just having that particular image in my mind, like what I wanted to look like,
What was that image? What was your image in your mind?
I think as being a Black woman, or, even a Black teen, I had more hips, and, I was within my weight range, but I was just very hippie, and, just our body shapes are different. And I was brought up in a predominantly white area. So I think
Really?
that with identity, I think that makes things a little bit skewed,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
as far as my image, you know.
Got
So,
it.
so I necessarily wasn't overweight. I was just, I just struggled with, the package that God gave me, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not till I got pregnant and my first pregnancy, I gained about 70 pounds.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I got pregnant again the end of November. So I was pregnant twice in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't lose that baby weight. And then I got pregnant and then gained. So within all that time, within those 2 pregnancies, I would say about 80 pounds that I
Total of
gained.
80 pounds. Okay. So first it start off your self-image because you lived in a predominantly white environment and you would compare your body to their body.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the hip, and then after you had your two babies, you gained the weight. And so that caused even more of distress, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think
Okay.
there was more insecurities, but you're being a mom, so it's just you're busy with being a mom and not thinking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of um, taking care of your husband and your kids, and you don't think about the health of yourself. Uh,
Mm.
you know, with the weight and everything else. So
And
for
how
me,
did that hinder you from being yourself, the weight gain?
I was just uncomfortable with what I wore,
Mm-hmm.
or taking pictures. I hated taking pictures. I would always want to take pictures from shoulder up because,
Okay.
I didn't want to show my body. So,
Mm.
that affected a lot of self-image that way.
How did that hurt your relationships, or did it affect your relationship with your husband or other, interacting with other people that may have been smaller? Did you find how did that?
My husband is very accepting.
Mm-hmm.
Loved me. I mean, that's one blessing that I have. Um, he didn't pressure me to say, okay, lose the weight. In
Mm-hmm.
a way, I'm like, I feel like you should have, but
Mm-hmm.
he never judged me on what my weight gain was, and no one really said anything, because most of the people I knew me from forever, but no one ever said anything to me. I wish they would have, but no one
What you
did.
think? What you wish for? What you thought people would say?
I think it's more like, hey, you want to go to this more encouragement to like go to exercise classes, or hey, there's this program, or something.
But what if the people thought your weight was okay? Only you saw that.
Oh no, my weight was not okay. I mean, honestly,
Okay.
considering my BMI, I was at my heaviest. I was about 261.
Okay.
That's not healthy by any means.
Okay.
And I'm one of those people where it's more about health, not necessarily what you look like, but that wasn't healthy. So,
okay, got it.
I halfway, maybe about before I actually started, I actually lost my weight during Weight Watchers. So before then, I was actually working out every day.
Okay. Wow.
5 days a week, and I was still my heaviest. So it wasn't the exercise, it's food. So,
wow. So okay, stop for a minute. So you was working out 5 days a week, and you still wasn't losing weight.
Because I was eating what I wanted to. So I would make the rationale of, oh, I worked out this morning, so I can have that cheeseburger or French fries or that milkshake, or let me treat myself to this or that. So my vitals were fine as far as health wise. I was not quite borderline pre-diabetic, but I was on my way to being pre-diabetic.
Wow.
So, it was one of those things where it's, I had to get out of control. We had taken a vacation in 2014 to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And I saw my picture and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was one of those things where I'm in this gorgeous, beautiful place and I don't feel good about myself.
Okay.
Like, I'm enjoying my family. I'm enjoying everything. But, I didn't want anyone taking pictures of me,
From you said her, and you said you had a picture,
and there was a couple pictures, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, girl, like, you are out of control. And I promise you, the next week, my cousin had a party for a reception for her wedding. And I flew from Costa Rica to Fort Lauderdale. Went to that, and I joined Weight Watchers that Saturday.
Wow.
Because I was like, I can't continue. I don't feel good about myself.
Okay.
So can I show you my pictures?
Please show us the pictures, please.
So this is a picture that started it. So you see,
yes.
As I said, take full body pictures.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
You can see that I'm a little bit plump. Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm trying to get to the picture.
Okay.
And then this is me. And that was when I was 261.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, 5'10". So that even with your height, you may weigh more and still not be able to see it.
Right. But it wasn't, I carried myself where I did wear things that accentuated my shape, and I didn't look, but I was still very like self-conscious of that.
Okay. Got it.
And then this picture was taken a couple months ago.
Wow. Go ahead, supermodel. So you like that. You like that's you. That's what you accept. That size is you're happy about.
I'm happy with it because I feel better in my clothes.
Okay.
I feel better about myself. Like as I said earlier, being younger, I had the hips and everything, and I accept that because that's just my body.
Okay.
But, it wasn't an extra 92 pounds on it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to lose the weight?
It took me 14 months.
Okay. Good. So you slowly.
It's slow, but you know what? And it's not, I won't say it's easy, but you have to be consistent. So halfway through my weight loss, I wanted to stop because I'm like, I lost 50 pounds. I'm good. But that wasn't my goal weight.
Got it.
So Weight Watchers, um, you know, in order to get lifetime, you have to meet your goal. So it just depends on your height and, you know, your weight, what your, you know, what your weight goal is going to be. So, um, you know, at 50 pounds, I was done because I was in that little plateau of like 2 or 3 months. And no matter what I did, I didn't lose anything.
Wow.
Um, and um, exercised and, you know, nothing. It wouldn't come off.
So what did you
So
do to get to that next phase?
just being consistent,
Hmm.
keep going to the meetings, tracking everything that I put in my mouth.
Hmm.
Um, just be accountable and to say, you know what, this is a goal that I want to do for me. You know, my
Hmm.
husband, as I said, he's supportive, but he's seen me lose 40 pounds on this diet or
Hmm.
30 pounds on this diet, and then I'll just gain it all back. So
Okay.
psychologically, I was like, he's like, oh, you're just going to gain it back. Like, I'm
Oh,
happy
okay.
with, oh, and I was like, no, I'm going to show you.
Hmm.
So I said, I'm going to keep it off. You know,
Hmm.
just it's almost like to prove to him that I can do it.
Hmm.
And that was I started Weight Watchers six years ago, and I've kept it
Wow.
off. I've gained 7, but a lot of it is from like activity and
Hmm.
different things. So you know, muscle and all of that. But for the most part, I've literally maintained my weight loss.
So you would say Weight Watchers is what really helped you maintain your weight for the 6 years.
Correct. Accountability,
Hmm.
tracking. Um, and I wouldn't, I mean, for me, as I said, I think it's 80% what you eat,
Hmm.
20% activity. So because
Mm.
I work out 6 days a week. So, but I enjoy it. And I
Hmm.
have different pockets of friends and groups that are support groups. Like
Hmm.
Heather is part of my BGR group where we run together, you know,
Hmm.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And like this weekend, I have a rate. We're doing the hot chocolate. So
Hmm.
that's a 15K. Um, I did my first half marathon last Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. So I mean, it's pretty much, you know, in being around the environment of people who are encouraging. So those ladies
Hmm.
are just completely encouraging, and I mean, it's very refreshing to be around people who honestly just are happy for your accomplishments and your
Hmm.
goals, and
Hmm.
it keep encouraging you to keep going. So you know, like for example, I have a class that I go to on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Y, and if
Okay.
I'm not there on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Hmm.
where were you? So
Wow, that's good stuff. Yes.
because it's that group that I've been working out with for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's the same
Hmm.
people, and we literally just keep on, you know, going. So
That is awesome. What helped you get to the place that you accepted your self image?
what's that?
When did you get to the place that you accepted your self image or your hips? Because you were saying that when you was young.
I think it's maturity and just the age that I'm like, you know what? They're not going anywhere. I've
Hmm.
had these hips forever, and that's just my body shape. People are
Hmm.
paying for them.
Yeah, they are paying for us, right?
So I'm like, you know, just embrace it, you know, just
Hmm.
embrace it. And, you know, I'm a part of a group of girls at our church, and you see that similarities, and you just want to say to them because they're so young, and I'm just like, you know what, you guys I was there before, you know, and I
Hmm.
just want them to just embrace. It's not, as I said, it's not until I got older where I just embraced me, you know.
Mm. And what age was that? What age were you when you embraced Candice?
I would say about 38.
You was about
So
38.
yeah, a little bit older than I wanted it to be, but it was about 38 where I accepted my body for my
Hmm.
body. You
That is
know,
great. According to research, that is about that around that age 38, but usually by the time they're 40, people like start loving who they are and accepting what.
yeah,
So that's amazing.
you can't change it. So,
Hmm.
you know, just embrace it and just work on you and your health where you are,
Hmm.
you know. So, and I would sit down with my kids and set up goals
Hmm.
when I was doing Weight Watchers, and I'm like, you know what, I will do 6 pounds a month,
Okay.
you know, until I lose it. And that's pretty much what I did. I stuck to that, and I said, you know what, and I had these little paper clips,
Hmm.
and I would just hook my little paper clips until it got to the 92 pounds. And
Wow.
so just to see the progress, you know, was amazing. So
So how does it feel to lose your 92 pounds?
it feels great. I mean,
Hmm.
it feels, I mean, I'm able to do a lot more. I'm active. I'm, you know, it I feel better about myself, myself in clothes. And,
Hmm.
you know, it's just, as I said, it's just mostly about health.
Hmm.
You know, it's great that I feel like I look great, but it
Hmm.
also is just great to just actually be healthy. Like I went to, I, shamefully, I haven't had a physical in like 7 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and everything was wonderful, you know? So, you know, I have no, you know, high blood pressure. I was also borderline hypertensive too.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
was borderline pre-diabetic, hypertensive. So it was, it's one of those things where I do have it in my family. I
Hmm.
do have um, it in, my family. So I didn't want to develop those diseases. So something
Hmm.
that I could, I mean, some of them, of course, you can not
Right.
avoid. But if I'm going to try to avoid this,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
just, I had to stick with losing the weight in order to, prevent what I could do, for my health.
Wow. And so, how long did you have to wait? Because maybe we have some listeners listening, and they may have been carrying weight for a long period of time. And they feel like it's not even, possible. How long did
It's
you?
possible.
It
I
is. Mhm.
it was 10 years.
It was
I
10 years, so you carried the
I
weight 10
I felt
years.
I put on that weight for 10 years.
Hmm.
So from my children's birth till my youngest was about 10.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. And you have
And
kept it off for 6 years.
yes.
Wow.
So,
I applaud you.
yeah.
That is
So
amazing.
I started Weight Watchers around when he was about 9
Hmm.
and 10. So he'll be 15 this year.
So you will recommend Weight Watchers.
Absolutely.
That's
I
good.
love it because you can eat what you want to eat. So
Hmm.
if you literally just want to eat a chocolate cake, just
Hmm.
know that you're going to have to eat broccoli and cauliflower for the rest of the day.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
so you gauge what you just. I mean, it may not be healthy, but what I love about it is it makes you think about what you put in your mouth, because you are tracking what's in your mouth, and you do
Hmm.
kind of feel like, gosh, I really ate that all day. Like I had
Hmm.
chips and I had this and I had that. Where that looks kind of bad when you're looking at your,
Right.
your tracking, and you're
Hmm.
seeing that a bag of chips versus I could have had some carrot sticks and hummus, for example.
Hmm. Right. That's good.
And then I also became vegan um less than 2 years, I mean, less than 3 years ago.
Okay. And so how did that help? Did that help take Weight Watch? Did that help with the
It
weight?
actually, I gained my 7 pounds back being vegan. um but I think it's because of how I ate. So I'm eating a
Okay.
lot of beans and nuts, very high carb, high fat.
Okay. Okay.
So that kind of, you know, but I do feel great.
Okay.
So
So if someone was encouraged, if you would encourage someone, they say, you know what, I had this weight on for 5 to 10 years, and listen to you, Candice, I think I'm going to do it because if you could do it, I can do it too. How will
Yeah.
you encourage them?
Just have a group of friends. Have just one person. It doesn't have to be a group of friends. Just one person that can encourage you. I had to go to the meetings for Weight Watchers. I couldn't do it online. I couldn't do it on my phone. I had to go in and feel accountable for my week. Where I got on the scale, and that accountability helps. It helped me, so and being consistent, knowing that yes, you're going to have a bad day, but let that bad day just be a bad day, not a bad week, a
Oh, I
month.
love it.
So just keep at it, so that's what I would encourage people to do. Just be consistent and just realize that there are mistakes. You're going to slip up, but it could be one meal versus whole month worth of just doing whatever you want to do, not looking at your portions, not looking at what you have consumed. So
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Candice. And please, if you have any questions, our listeners, if you have any questions for Candice, please go ahead and put them in the comments. And we're going to bring Candice back on after we speak with Adam. And Candice, can you wait for us as we interview with Adam and then bring you back? We have all two of you together and you all can ask your questions. Thank you so much, Candice, for telling your story. And the last question I will ask for you, if someone did want to join Weight Watchers, or how would they go about doing that? Do they go to the website? What's the cost? How does that work?
You can go either online or there's an 800 number.
Okay.
So you could utilize either that. So you could do it online. You could either do meetings, or you could just do it where you just do it digitally. But as I said, I encourage the meetings. If you have to make time. Like when I did it, at that time there were 5 o'clock. I think this classes were at 7 o'clock, and there was also a 5 o'clock in the morning meeting. So there was no excuse for me. So I used to get up sometimes when my kids had games or whatever. I used to get up early in the morning, went to that 5 o'clock in the morning meeting so I could make the activities that I had for my kids. So you have to make time for yourself.
Oh, I love it. Wow. Yeah. It's part of self-care. Wow.
It is self-care, and it shows your kids, and for me, discipline. It shows them that, here's a goal that you can obtain and you work towards that goal. So it's just about setting goals and meeting them too.
That's good. That is good. Wow, Candice, that was good. Now, not only did you encourage eating healthy, you also encourage setting goals with a team of people, having a motivation, not doing it by yourself or isolating yourself, but doing with a team approach, which automatically, even according to research, that you will thrive when you surround your people like-minded, people that will encourage you, that will, launch, or even accountability. Where are you, Candice, when you didn't show up? So that is amazing. That is totally amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to put you in backstage, and then we're going to bring Adam in. So just hold on for us about another 20 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Now we're about to bring Adam. Adam is going to tell you his stories about from rag to riches and different businesses. I want to first apologize because Adam right now, he's in an environment that he can't show his face, but he does have a picture of himself. So let's bring Adam in.
Hey everybody, how are you today?
Good. So we are so happy you are here, Adam. And how are you today?
I'm doing well. I love to tell stories about wild things that have happened. I've got plenty of them. I tend to think that it's pretty inspirational. When I was younger, I was it's kind of interesting. Not a lot of people know that they put me into a special ed when I was little. Everybody thought that I was stupid. I was told that I was stupid. And so I grew up thinking that way, probably in all the way through college. Went to 3 colleges. I must have studied a million things. I mean, I probably changed my major 8 times. And, I never finished. And even then, in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm probably stupid. There's something wrong with me. These are things that I was brought up to think about myself.
Okay.
And when I left college, it's kind of funny when I started to think more for myself. And nothing wrong with college by any means, but for me, it wasn't really working out. And when I left, I ended up making it to Wall Street. It was like the first time for me that I really decided to just take a risk and do what I felt was right for me versus what everybody thought was right for me. And maybe for some people that's not a huge deal. That point in my life, that was an amazing accomplishment, being somebody who had been under the thumb of other people's opinions, for so long. So I made it. I started at a stockbroker firm in Long Island. They offered to pay for my training, and basically like have me be the intern for a bit. And it was a great opportunity because, as far as I could tell, I was a college dropout, and everybody told me college dropouts never amount to anything. So okay, I jumped on this. Out to be, pretty typical. You see those movies like Boiler Room. It was very much like that type of environment. And when I got caught on to what was really going on there, I immediately left. And it was a good opportunity, actually, because I ended up working on Wall Street as a stockbroker.
Wow.
And at that point in my life, I thought I'd made it. I was at the pinnacle of success if you grow up as a New Yorker. Wall Street stockbroker. Wow, amazing. Definitely not all cracked up to be. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made. You can make $1 million in a phone call. But I was always, from a young age, somebody that felt like there was more meaning to the world. I didn't know what it was, but I sure as hell wanted to find out. And at a young age, I also felt that money really was kind of a distraction for a lot of people. So at that point in my life, being a stockbroker was this amazing accomplishment, but my gut was telling me it wasn't for me. And the crazy thing is that the firm that I was working for, and I'll save them the embarrassment here. They already probably got plenty. The SEC walked into their company and did a week-long audit. And it was, my gut was telling me, I gotta go. Something's not right here. And I listened to my gut, and it was like perfect timing.
Okay.
But I walked away from Wall Street, and it was like, what the hell am I doing with myself? Everybody's like, you dropped out of college, and you made it to Wall Street, and then you walked out of Wall Street. What the hell is wrong with you? And a part of me thought I was crazy too.
Okay.
But I had a lot of profound things happen to me, in 2007 that really made me think differently. And I decided to take a chance. And I got in my car one day and drove across the country to San Diego, just to get away. I wanted a different scene. I didn't really have a plan. I walked away from Wall Street and felt like it was the right thing to do. But then here I was, down to $800 and no plan whatsoever. I knew one thing, that I wanted to see what I was made of. So I got in my car and I drove to California. I got there with $250 left. I don't know how I did that, but
wow,
I did it. And my car in California for a good 6-7 weeks before I finally got on my feet and found kind of like my groove, and eventually got a job. And that job sucked, but that job turned into something that became an opportunity later down the road. And next thing you know, that was like what, 2012 is when
Slow up a minute, Adam. So you said you stayed in your car for 6 and 7 weeks, you said?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Wow.
Living in San Diego, California. Yeah. I mean, when I got to California, I literally had no friends. I didn't know anybody on the West Coast. I'd never been past, let's say, Ohio. I thought San Diego had pine trees. Anybody that goes to San Diego knows that it's a desert. There's no pine trees in San Diego. But, I got there and I had no idea what I'd gotten myself into. Wow. Except for the fact that the whole point was for me to get myself out of it on my own, to my best of my ability. and I had no idea, but all the things that I had been dreaming of, all the things that I had put kind of like out there as, man, maybe they are possible, but maybe not for me. And dreams that I hadn't even thought about, like they started to come true, and it had a
Can
lot
you
to
give
do
us
with
examples of the dreams? What dreams came true?
well, so I mean, how does one go from being homeless with $250 in their pocket, living on the West Coast, so they don't know a soul, and
Right.
then I mean, it was less than it was like 4 years later, I was running a business. We did $600,000 in sales that year, and
Wow.
that was 2016, 2017. The same business did over $1 million in sales.
And what was
And
the business? What was the business, Adam?
it was marketing. Yeah, it was. I
Marketing.
had reps in all of the big Home Depots, like all over the country. I was flying reps all over the country. Like, I mean, you name the main city, my guys were in the big box retailers: Home Depot, Best Buy, Walmart. We were selling, kitchen designs. We were selling electric companies, energy, all sorts of things. But I mean, I started at the ground level. I started in my car and got the opportunity to go into a Home Depot and sell some like cabinet refacing consultation. And I mean, it's so unimportant, like really unimportant. But what I was learning was to get outside of my comfort zone and to be positive and to be confident and to deal with people, with a certain level of dignity. And from that, I built a whole army.
Wow.
I went from running an office to people followed me. I went from San Diego to help somebody open up an office in Portland, Oregon. And I lived in Portland, Oregon for about 6 or 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I went and opened up my own office in Philadelphia. And I brought 4 managers that I'd hired, trained, and developed to build their own teams of leaders in Portland. And they followed me all the way across the country to Philadelphia. Me,
Wow.
stupid little me that was in special ed his whole childhood. I mean, couldn't get himself through one college. You know what I mean? It was so eye-opening, like what's possible when you start to just follow yourself and your heart and what your gut tells you to do. And, I was lucky enough to uncover something called the law of attraction, which I'm sure some people on this call have probably heard of. I think for a lot of people, unfortunately, they just kind of brush it off as positive thinking. But I was very, I studied it very in depth in 2007. And that trip was really was me putting it to the test. It was insane. It was so synchronized how I got there. Like, it was just a matter of years. And here's the thing. I opened up that office in 2017, and by the end of 2018, I had opened up 4 more offices, 2 in Chicago and 2 in Boston. And I had developed somebody that I had hired and trained and paid their wage, and for them to develop and build a team of their own, and put them into an office and paid for it myself to do that for them. And took a little piece of commission from that. And that is so much more valuable than running an office that makes $1 million in a year. I mean, it's about being able to develop somebody else to take control of their life, and that was very inspiring for me. That meant way more to me than the business, which thankfully it did, because I eventually ended up losing that business. Worked too fast, opened up offices too fast, and being a rookie business owner, I trusted a few of the wrong people. Came crashing down. I did my best to stand by all of my employees, but eventually it came crashing down, and that was very nerve-wracking for me. Obviously, there's all that after going from so little, but it's crazy. It's like once you've done it, you can do it again. You can do it again. So all you got to do is just stretch yourself a little bit, because once you've stretched yourself once, you can do it again. You can do it
again. So are you able to do it again?
As far as marketing, I'm not looking to do that again. It was like fucking work. I'm actually vice president of a design build company now. I do the marketing for them, but it's a lot different. And we do construction and design in New York City, in New Jersey, Fort Lauderdale. And that's a lot more my speed. I mean, it's enjoyable, and it's not overwhelming. I don't lose track of what's important in life, because as soon as you lose track, it doesn't matter how successful you are, as soon as you lose track of what's important in life, it's almost like life loses track of you.
And what do you consider most important in life?
I mean, what's most important in life? I mean, you know, I can't claim to know what it is for everybody, you know, because we're all different. I really believe that. But at the same, we're all possible. We all have the same possibilities. We all have the same greatness inside of us. So for me, what's important in life is connection, is to do the right thing. The golden rule is not called the golden rule for nothing, guys. Like, it's literally a magic law to the universe. You treat people the way you want to be treated, and you will go great, far places you never even dreamed of.
That's good, Adam. And
So,
you said early with your first business, you know, it became large, and you said you used law of attraction. Can you explain?
Well, that actually wasn't my first business. That was my first successful business.
Oh, your first success. Okay, got it. I apologize. Your first successful business. You said you use law of attraction. Explain to us and how you use law of attraction to help with that business.
Okay, well, so one thing that I'm really good at, guys, I've got an extremely active imagination. So, you know, that's a double-edged sword. That can really distract you. But when you understand just what you're capable of, imagination can be like a superpower. You know, we are infinite beings. So what you can imagine, you can create, right? And when you get good at visualizing the things that you want, that's one piece of the puzzle, right? You know what you want, but you also have to know what you're doing, what thoughts you have in your mind that are creating what you haven't wanted, the things in your life that you haven't wanted. And when you notice the way that you're thinking and you're feeling really bad about something that you're thinking about, that is a surefire way for you to know right there, that bad feeling, that what you're thinking about is creating that which you do not want. Okay, your emotions are like a guide. Right. So whenever you feel that negative emotion, the best thing that you can do is push it aside and replace it with like the dream, the opposite of what it is that was bothering you. Because, hey, what the hell does it matter if it never happens, right? Isn't that pleasant anyways? What I uncovered, because, you know, another thing that I dealt with, I didn't really get into here, guys, is that I was undiagnosed as bipolar most of my life.
Okay.
So I've like these big ups and downs in my life, big ups and downs, you know. And one thing that I learned through all that up and down is maximizing your highs so that your lows, they don't matter as much. But that turned into something more when I started to apply it to the law of attraction. You know, have kind of like a time buffer of the things that we think about before they actually take fruition into the real world, right? That protects us from doing things like thinking about a nuke and blowing ourselves up instantaneously, right? But is that time buffer, what it does, it kind of tricks us. If we have a bad thought and then we have a good thought, we get a bad result after the good thought because there was a bad thought before it, right? So if we're not careful, we don't think about that, like we just perpetuate more bad stuff because, oh, we had a good result. Why has it turned bad again? And then when you're in that negative, it's really hard to be positive. But it's the lows where you have to be positive because it's the lows where you transform the direction of your life. It's not the positive. It's not the highs in your life. It's how you deal with the negatives in life, right? The way that you think in your world when shit is just going sideways and everything's going against you. And you're like, what did I do to deserve this? You thought the wrong way. It's that simple. And you're doing it probably right then, there, and again. And that's why you come across these same cycles. You find yourself in the same position again and again, just like I have so many times in my life. I uncovered this technique. It's almost like you don't perpetuate the lows in your life anymore because you've learned to be positive in those moments. And you project yourself into a more positive reality of a future that's just better.
So basically, Adam, what you're saying is you learn how, when you were at your lows, when you're having those negative thoughts, you learn how to replace them with positive thoughts in order to help with your mood.
Yes, absolutely. And there's all sorts of techniques that you can go, but one that I swear by. I mean, you can really transform any aspect of your life if you can transform the way that you think about it. Your thoughts directly impact your reality, right? So with that said, if you can change the way that you think about things, you can change any aspect of your life. And there's a really, really simple secret technique not a lot of people know about. It's called subliminal programming, subliminal messaging. You can find all sorts of different things on that. And if you just play it in the background. I used to be a hardcore gamer. I thought it was such a waste of time, but I loved it. So I found a creative way to make it productive. And I started listening to subliminal programming for self-esteem and success and, you know, positivity and anti-depression and just play them in the background. Like I did it. I mean, they say 30 days, you know, straight. I mean, I listened to it all day long for like 300 days. I wasn't messing around, but it works. It really does. What do you got to lose?
Right. And you was sound like you also saying your thoughts create your outcome or create what's happening in your life. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's,
And so,
I think it was Gandhi. It was Gandhi or some other really wise soul that said, you know, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your actions. Keep your actions positive because they become your behavior. Your behavior becomes your habits. And if your habits positive, then your destiny will be positive as well. And I thought, you know, they probably said it a bit more eloquently than I did, but it always ran true.
Good. That's also, be honest with you, that's also in psychology books. Whatever your thoughts are will also lead to your behavior and also attached to your emotions. So what you're saying is, if you're able to control your thoughts, if you think on things that are good, or biblically, they talk about the scripture of thinking on things that are good, that are just, in order for you to even have a better outcome. So I understand what you're saying, and you're right. If you're able to control your thoughts, go ahead, Adam.
So you were just breaking up. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no problem. I said, when you're able to control your thoughts, when you are at your low, you will have a better outcome. You will feel better. You even have better behavior. So that is excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think someone have a question for you. Her name is English Twin. You mind reading out this question?
Here. When did he learn to self-monitor? I mean, I think I was doing it before I realized I was. Like I said, ever since since I was younger, I was always kind of soul seeking, and I would look around and I would be like, why are my friends and I just sitting around smoking weed and doing nothing? You know what I mean? Like I was always kind of thinking at a young age, but it was 2007 where I actually had a near-death experience that really opened my eyes to a lot of what I just was not aware of, you know, and that really kind of recalibrated my focus on what was important in life. And then from there, I had a dream to make myself better and to make my life better and to be happy and not be miserable my whole life, which was basically the first 25, 26 years of my life. Okay. You know, and I didn't know how, but that didn't matter because I had the desire and I took the steps necessary to figure it out. And that's all it is. You just gotta have a dream and go for it.
Wow, that is good. And if someone was having a similar situation, if a person found themselves in their car, you know, living for 7 weeks, or even 5, or even 2 weeks, or found themselves, their family, homeless, how will you encourage them to pull themselves out of it?
Ooh, it's hard. It's hard to pull yourself out of deep emotions. It really is. I mean, I'd say that's something that's best off being like, for me, because I feel things very deeply. I mean, I'm a super sensitive guy. I kind of have to like, you know, compose myself. If I think something's going to be a big deal, I need to compose myself ahead of time and visualize, you know, that I handle it correctly. But you know, I mean, I think it's different for everybody. I recognize here, when did he learn? I thought the question was, when did I learn to self-monitor? But when did you learn how to self-monitor? So, okay, so the number one thing that you could do, and I mean, I'm not big on making like adamant statements about anything. Right. But this is like, I mean, it works. You got to meditate. Meditation allows you to become self-aware. It allows you to become in control of your mind, your thoughts, first you have to be aware of them. You have to be aware of your patterns and what you're thinking. And the only way to do that is to calm your mind and to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you're not meditating, like, man, you're making your life way more difficult than it needs to be.
Right.
Unfortunately, most people.
Right. Wow. So basically what you're saying is when you meditate, you're able to monitor your thoughts. You're able to see or identify what you're thinking and being able to change your thoughts from a negative thought to a positive thought. So that meditation helped you identify the thoughts that you have in your mind.
Absolutely. And not only does it help you to do that right when you meditate,
Mm-hmm.
but because you're getting better at recognizing and analyzing your own thoughts in real time, it's like a muscle. It becomes something that you become regularly able to do, and no longer do you need to meditate because you've built that muscle, just
Right.
like anything else, you know?
Mm-hmm. So it takes time. So it's like
Yes.
a process. That's good. Because some people find themselves in the same situation year after year after year because they have not changed the thoughts. So the thoughts that they're focusing on, they're creating the same life over and over again. And so basically what you're saying is if you're able to identify those thoughts and change those thoughts, you can have a different outcome. And so how do you feel about even that statement I just said, Adam?
Absolutely. You have to be aware. Anything that you want to change, you have to be aware of it. How else will you be able to change it? So, you know, you have to be able to first identify, be aware of your mind, and then identify these moments where you're thinking things. Whatever you think, you're giving energy to. Whatever you think about, you will attract. So if you're on this repeat of negative thoughts, you're just going to get more of same. It's that simple. So when you understand that, the next step is to figure out what to replace those thoughts with, and then have the willpower to do that. It all takes time. It takes practice. It takes effort. But guess what? You get a lot further than the person that never starts.
That's good. And I guess to back that up with scripture is more like renew your mind. The idea of renewing your mind, changing your thoughts is very important because if you continue to stay on that same track, you will have the same results. What I'm about to do now, Adam, is bring in Candice because I think this would be a great time to bring her in because she spoke about her weight gain as well as her weight loss. And great thing Adam helped us even talking about visualization. Candice, when you was at your weight that you did not like and you saw the pictures, were you able to visualize yourself in the picture that you showed us earlier? Can you show that picture of the picture you took a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, my bathing suit picture?
Yes, your bathing suit picture. Okay, were you able to see yourself that way before you was able to even get to that place physically?
You know what? To be honest, for me, it was one step at a time.
Okay.
So it was knowing that I could get there again because I was around the same size when I got married. So it wasn't like I was always heavy. It was just, my heaviest was within those 10 years. So no, I didn't think I would ever get to that point because it seemed like it was just, as I said, it was hard and it's still hard to maintain. So not just a matter of you lose the 92 pounds, it's maintaining that even today, just making sure that I am eating within portions, I am exercising, I am taking care of myself. And sleep is a big deal, big thing as well. You can't just, you need to rest. So it's your eating habits, exercise, and sleep.
Got it. So you already had a picture of yourself. So you already knew what you looked like before you even gained the weight.
Yes.
Basically, so you didn't have to. Okay, got it. So you're the size you were before you got married or when you got married.
Yes, about the same size.
About the same size. Wow, that's good. Adam was talking about how he he had a job on Wall Street. And then he left that job and he drove all the way to California.
I heard the story.
You heard it.
I listened to the whole thing.
You did.
Story.
And the idea of the law of attraction. How do you feel about that law of attraction? How do you feel about what he was saying concerning that? Concerning your thoughts with your weight. How does your thoughts help you with your eating?
Absolutely. You said positive thinking, you
Mm-hmm.
have to be positive. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only way you can continue and prosper. I mean, I think if you are negative and you surround yourself with negativity, you're not getting anywhere.
That is so cool.
So I agree with Adam when he, you know, described, you know, positive thoughts, positive outcomes. Yeah.
And I think what you're doing is having positive team people around. You know, you say you have different groups you
Yes.
around, and accountability and
Absolutely.
enforcing that positivity, that environment. So that's very important. And the reason why I'm saying that, because even if a lot of you are trying to lose weight or trying to change your jobs or trying to build your business, it's very imperative that you have positive and people that will support you to make sure you're thinking on things that are good, thinking on things that you could picture yourself in a different environment and know that you belong in those environments, know that you belong in the perfect weight that you desire, or know that you valuable enough to obtain what you feel in your heart that God has placed inside of you, and being able to see it before it even takes place. And I hope Adam are you still there with us, Adam? I think your
Yes.
mic is off. Okay, awesome. And Adam, how will you encourage people today if they are having difficulties visualizing or seeing themselves in a different environment, or having a different weight, or having a different job, but they really want it, and they've seen everybody else being able to obtain their goals? How will you encourage them to get to that place?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it wasn't something that came to me naturally at all. It took me a very long time to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was teaching myself, you know, it takes time, it takes effort, right? Especially when your beliefs are so hardly ingrained in the opposite of what you want them to be. I mean, I spent the majority of my life, at that point in my life, I'd spent my whole life depressed. I didn't know any other way. I didn't even know that that was abnormal. I was just like miserable all the time, you know? And so first recognizing the possibility that if I changed my thoughts, my reality would change was enough to give me just, oh man, well, nothing else is working. Why don't I just give this a little shot? And it seemed like there was something to it, but you know, I mean, it was like a positive thinking or not, you know what I mean? And what I learned is that you cannot convince yourself to believe something that you don't believe. That's just lying to yourself.
That's right.
But there are ways to change your belief. That takes time, right? And I forget how they described it to me. I read it in a book, but you can take steps towards a belief. You don't need to go from I think I'm ugly to I think I'm beautiful, right? Like you can take steps toward that. Like, oh, I'm not so bad. Like I'm kind of average, you know, like, and then once you believe that, then the next step forward is not nearly as difficult. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you got to smooth talk yourself almost. You got to survive your old thoughts long enough to become your new thoughts. And so, you know, take steps that are believable in the direction that you want to believe, and eventually you'll come to that. But you got to do something, because if you do nothing, what are you destined to do?
You have to take one step. Right. That is so good. That is so good. And I like what you said about it. Maybe take a process. For me, it's spending. I mean, I spent time with Candice. I did my first 5K, and I was like, oh God, how am I going to go through this? And I have to do this. And I was thankful for my friend Heather. She's like, Nancy, because I was supposed to have done it. And I talked myself, I honestly forgot about it. Went to the beach that weekend. I paid for it and everything. And went to the beach. I was like, oh, I guess I won't be doing it this year. And then Heather came on my house for 4th of July. And she just came back from, I think with you, she did like a 10K or something. And I didn't really understand the 5K and the 10K. I thought you had to run like 10K, 10 miles. Or I didn't, you know, I was like, oh no, that's not about to happen. And then when I spoke with Heather, she was like, Nancy, you can do this. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this together. I said, you know, I can do it with other people, not do it by myself. And then I met Candice, and Candice was talking about how she lost weight. She, you know, I remember you said, can you take a picture of me? No, I asked you, I said, you want to take a picture? You were taking pictures. You said, yes. And you were telling me, you know what? I didn't even used to like taking pictures. I said, what? And you was so open and so engaging. You talking about how your eating habits, and that one conversation just sparked me to change it, even how I ate. at that one, because it's very important who you surround yourself with, because even conversations can even be a part of what Adam is talking about, of that process of changing your thought process. So being around positive people, being around people that believe, being around people that living what they claim is very important in order to even help you thrive as individuals. So that was very good. So basically, honestly, you all saying the same thing, even though you focusing on different areas. For an example, Candice talking about having right type of people in your life in order to motivate you. You got to make sure they believe in you and speaking life as well as accountability. And Adam focusing on using changing your thoughts and even having that process. And the tool in order to change your thoughts is making sure you having the right type of people, as well as making sure you listening to videos. You said you listen to for 300 hours, Adam. You said all day long. Make sure you listening to.
I couldn't even tell you. I made a real point of it being done all the time.
That is awesome. And we do that in my house. We play it all day long. We play scripture, to be honest with you, in our house, especially at night when they're asleep, whatever. We have it playing all day, just to make sure our thoughts, we're thinking on things that are just, thinking on things that are good in order to replace negative thoughts. So this is so good. And right now we only have like 4 minutes. And what I'm going to do is we have some questions here. If you have any questions, our listeners, please go ahead and post them in comments, and we would do our best to post as well as show. Okay, we have here, this is good content. Someone indicated, okay, visualization. Yes, that's what we've been talking about mainly. Truly amazing, good stuff. Thank you, Rico Breeze. Let's see here. Oh, yes, exactly. I'm not sure where that that was coming from. Let's see here. Someone said, all right, then. I think that's when you post your picture. Candice. That is awesome. And people was talking about facts, which is great. Let's see here. Let's see, we have here. Great, you learn to self-monitor yourself. So many don't. Okay, that's good. I think this is yours, Adam. I love it. Investing in others. Talking about, it's not about just making money. You were talking about earlier, Adam. Making millions is more about what can you do how can you invest in others, and how you create a company and you help people get jobs and do what was needed to invest in others. That was amazing. I mean, both of your stories are just like, just amazing. Again, I can say someone is saying, wow.
Well, thank you.
Oh, they said, haha, wow, this guy's story is interesting. Let's see here. Everyone learns differently. You weren't stupid. I'm glad you overcame thinking that college is not for everyone at all. That is so good. Love the accountability.
Well, the real irony there is that the IQ test is quite the
opposite. Wow. 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 That's why it's very important to have the best educator. People that believe in you more than, discount you. Someone say, hello, that's Rico. Oh, they're saying goals. That's good. Wow. And someone said, good evening. Let's see if we have any more questions out there. Any more questions? We have a new comment. Okay, we have someone here. Okay, I'm super proud of my sister Candice. Oh, that is so awesome. Let's see, someone else. Great content. Learn so much. Wow. So we could bring in closure. What would you both like to say to our listeners as we bring closure? We'll start off with Candice.
I would just say consistency. Just don't stop. Whatever your goal is, stick to it. You'll eventually get to it.
That's awesome. And what about you, Adam?
Life's too short to go about worrying what other people think is right for you. And you just got to go for what your gut is telling you to go for. The universe will open the door for you if you have the courage to go after it.
Wow. Well, thank you both for being a part of Raw Stories. We enjoy both your stories, and I hope our listeners was able to gain from your stories, and we hope to hear back from you. Let us know how their story impact your life or help you take that next step in order for you to thrive. I am Nancia Leath, and it's an honor to be a part of Raw Stories. Thank you all for coming, and thank you so much for watching, and look for us next Tuesday. All right, you all have a wonderful day.